G'day knuckleheads, Uncle Knackers here. Now look, forget the jocks and the socks, because today's project I think could be a really good gift idea, and it's going to be very simple to make. And of course it's going to be rustic. Everything I do is rustic. Oh, there goes the back. I'm feeling a bit rustic myself. Oh. So basically all we're building is a really simple box or crate to store my magazines. Oh, my tradie magazines, because I'm a tradie and tradies don't read women's magazines, do they? That was embarrassing. And of course it has to be out of recycled timbers, and I'm using old hardwood fence palings, but you could use something like an old pallet to give the same effect. Now you can make your magazine rack any size you like, but mine's going to be 550 millimeters long, which is about 21.5 inches. It's going to be 300 millimeters wide, which is about 12 inches, and about 240 millimeters high, which is about 9.5 inches. Let's cut these pieces. And to make the crate a bit more interesting and a bit more rustic looking, I'm going to cut two of these boards down to 45 millimeters wide, or about 1 3/4 inches. With the pieces all cut, it's now time to give them all a really good sand prior to assembly. Now before I assemble the crate, I'm going to add some colour. Now I've got some yellow poster paint, that's all I'm using, some poster paint that the kids use at school, and some white poster paint. It doesn't really matter what you use. And then we'll sand that back to give it that nice rustic look. Now the yellow is going to go on 2 of the short pieces and 2 of the long pieces, and the white is going to go on the other 2 short pieces and 2 long pieces. So just slap the paint on. There's no real science to it. It's meant to look rustic. So the old hit and miss method is pretty effective. Suits me down to a T. So there you go, just like that. And once it's all dry, we'll give her a sand back. Beautiful. So just grab your paint, and it's the same with the white. Just slap it on. Now if you like, and this paint is now dry, you can just grab some of the contrasting colour and just put a few dabs on it here and there. Just like this, a few dabs, just like that. And that'll sand back beautifully. Now when trying to make something rustic with paint, just remember that there's no right or wrong way to do it. It's just about layering. Put some paint on, sand it back. If you like the look of it, fantastic. If you don't, put some more paint on it. It's pretty simple. The paint's now dry, and this timber is ready to sand back to give it that beautiful rustic look. Now I've had to duck inside, because outside you can probably hear it is pouring with rain. So hopefully, fingers crossed, the lighting in here is good enough so you can see what I'm doing. Now I'm going to sand these back with an 80 grit sandpaper. Told you it was easy. 30 seconds later and I've achieved that beautiful rustic look, which is exactly what I was after. I'm absolutely wrapped. Now all you need to do now is repeat that process to the rest of the painted boards, and Bob's your uncle. So this is what we finish up with. We have 3 lengths for the bottom, we have 2 ends, and we have 2 sides of the crate. And these shorter pieces here attach to the ends of the crate, just like that. And these will actually hold the whole thing together, which you'll see soon when we put this thing together. Let's do it. Now the first step of the assembly process is to nail the 2 ends together, and they're nailed to these cleats here. Now make sure that the side that you want to look at is facing up, which I have here, and you'll also notice that this is sitting on a couple of blocks, and that's because when I nail this off, I don't want the nails to penetrate the workbench here. Now you can see here how the nail's gone all the way through the 2 pieces of timber and sticking out here. Now you can cut these nails off with some snips or a hacksaw or even a grinder. Now with the ends assembled, it's time to attach the sides. Now remember, this is the inside with the cleat, and that's the outside. And now it's time to nail the sides off, and I like to use a square and put it on the inside of that end piece just to make sure that it's sitting up nice and straight, and then we can nail it off. Now, in the words of Crocodile Dundee, that's not a crate. This is a crate. Look at that. Turned out absolutely fantastic. Exactly how I wanted it to. And to finish it off, all we need to do is give it a sand back with a 120 grit sandpaper. That'll make it nice and smooth, followed by 2 coats of satin polyurethane. Rub that back a little bit, and then to finish it off, I'll whack on some groovy wheels, and we're done. Now give it a brush down, and then once that's done, put on your polyurethane. So with my satin polyurethane, I'm going to give it 2 coats. Can't believe I just did that. Oh well, I gave the old bench top a bit of a coat anyway. It's not all bad. So there you go, all done, and I reckon it turned out absolutely fantastic. Now to finish the job off, all I did was install some metal casters that I bought from Bunnings for about $3.50 each, something like that. And I also found these old handles in the back of the shed, which I installed to both ends. And to give the whole unit a really authentic look, after the polyurethane dried, I got a 180 grit paper and gave it a light sand. And what that does is that it takes off that sheen, which then gives it the real aged look. And like I said at the start of the video, this would make a really great gift idea. Not only is it simple to make, but it's also very cost effective. And in my eyes, that's a win-win all round. Great tip, knackers! Now don't go just yet, because there'll be a few photos flicking backwards and forwards of the finished project. And if you like the video, subscribe to my channel. The button's just down there, and give it the old thumbs up. It'd be greatly appreciated. And don't forget to check out my Facebook page at DIY For Knuckleheads. Anyway, I'm off to go and buy some polyurethane. Can't believe I did that. Schoolboy error. Anyway, till next time, I'm out of here. Cheers.